Well, with some office staff gradually returning, companies are moving into blended operating rhythms, which will see some staff remaining to work from home, of course, others with a hybrid relationship or returning full time. So it's sort of a little bit all over the place. It's a fascinating topic to chat about. So how will this change our workplace culture moving forward? For more, let's bring in Mark Carter, who's an expert in human behaviour. Well, there you go. This is going to be a fascinating conversation. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me in.
So there's a lot going on here, isn't there? I mean, there are so many people. Some would like to work from home, some maybe 50-50, some back in the office. I mean, what are you seeing at the moment? There's a lot going on, isn't there?
There absolutely is. It depends on the organization. Some companies have made the declaration you can stay and work from home permanently,
Right.
and that suits some people. But many were human beings, were wired for connection, and there's people screaming to get back in the office as well, for sure.
Totally. So this is really fascinating. I mean, one thing we learnt last year was the way we work in some ways, right? Some people probably enjoyed working from home. Tell us, what did you see from human behavior perspective? What did you learn last year in particular?
Yeah, look, a lot of businesses start investing in their people and helping them work from home. If you've not done it before, how do you be more productive in that home environment when you're working isolated and you can't lean on your peers and colleagues, to get that input? So that was certainly one aspect, just helping them get more efficient in that regard.
Yeah, let's talk about culture as well, whether it's in the workplace. I mean, you'd probably need a very strong culture in the workplace when people are at home in some ways, because that's when it would probably fall down. What do you see there?
Yeah, I mean, the culture has been impacted. You can't take everybody out of office and it not impact culture. Think about it this way. Your strategy is the logic, focus, direction. Culture is your values, beliefs. It's the energy and engine that brings the execution of that strategy to life. So you need to make sure that people, even remote, can still enact on that.
Culture is hard, like working within organizations, as everyone has. Do you know the best way to develop culture? Because it has to be very real, doesn't it?
Completely. So you can bring it to life. There's 4 core pillars is one way to look at it. A pillar of compliance, get your processes sorted.
Right.
So it's equal, it's fair, everybody knows, and it takes the chaos out. A culture of performance is everybody being coached. Does everybody have goals? Are those goals aligned with the big picture and the vision? A learning culture,
Right.
Continual learning, because if we don't do that, we're going to fall behind. It gives us a competitive advantage, and it shouldn't be the first thing sacrificed when we're busy or reacting to a crisis.
Yeah.
And then you've got the 4th one, which is the one that people aspire to often, a unique culture, which is innovating ideas, but it's often about the soft touches of the fun stuff, free food on a Friday and work from home, ironically enough, which everybody's been doing.
Yeah, of course. And that's a really interesting one, because some businesses, I think, when they look for the unique side, which is what everyone does, they can maybe try a little bit too hard, right? Because for me, if you see, a manager or leader say, we need to be unique and this is why, it's like, yeah, but we want to be real and unique, right?
Absolutely. So, and that's something that happens if you put too heavy a focus on being unique and the other pillars aren't accounted for. It's like a Hollywood facade set.
Totally.
It's balsa wood, no substance behind. So the compliance, performance, and learning gives you the substance to make that unique culture stand up and not just be a great photograph on Instagram.
Exactly. Very well said. Talk about your book now, Add Value. You talk of the 4 primary pillars of culture. Now, what do we need to know?
Well, I flagged it there. I also relate to culture, though, in an ethnological sense. Don't think about it business. And there's a small acronym like traditions, build traditions. Alignment of values, reward for behavior, recognize behavior. Culture is built through legend creation. We do that through passing on knowledge and knowledge sharing. So build a culture of continual learning. Make sure your induction and onboarding is tight. Cultures thrive through excellence, fields of excellence. People are expert in certain things. So trust the people in the different teams that they're experts in what they do. You get that trust working through.
Yep.
And then ultimately signals, tribes thrive through communication and signals. Make sure that you're continually communicating all the right messages. That's how you build and harness your culture in your team.
Awesome stuff. Just to finish, I'd love to ask people in your position, what's a good example of a business or a group who are ticking all the boxes, whether we know them publicly or not? Is there one particular one that comes to mind?
Look, I've been talking a bit about Atlassian lately, probably because they're front of mind. They're Australian, but they seem to be doing this really well. They support their team and giving them time off to support causes they enjoy. They've given this option of work from home. They're doing it in a balanced way. They're investing into communities where people really buy into their values, and people then give that magical ingredient, which is discretionary effort. Right. You can't ask for that. People want to give it. When you can tap that, then your culture's heading in the right direction. I see that certainly with Atlassian as
Yeah,
one.
they're
one
doing
great example.
great things. I mean, for such a small country like Australia, and they're becoming a dominant player in many ways. Where can we find out more and reach out to you and look at the book as well?
Yeah, certainly. Either through my website, directmarkcarter.com.au, or Add Value, the book. It's published globally by Wiley. You can grab it pretty much everywhere.
Awesome stuff, mate. We'll bring you in again. Hopefully you're around the corner. We might call you, next week and just give us another update. But really appreciate your time.
Thanks so much for having me in.
Great
Thanks
stuff.
very much.
We'll talk soon.